Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs, and the Mobilize Your Vote campaign for the North American, European Union, Australian, and who knows what else release of Gundam Battle Operation 2 is over. The final votes are in, and we're going to take a look at the list and see what we've got. Number one is still the Garrett Schmitzer Zaku 1. As you can see, it can use the Dom Tropin, Zerkate, and Bazooka, and it also has a Goof Shield, a Goof Heat Sword, and Sturmfaust. It also has a smoke dispenser, as a few other mobile suits do, that grant a temporary stealth buff. It's not bad. I'm kind of surprised it came in number one, but one, it was fairly difficult to get in the Japanese version. You had to buy it for recycle tickets at a specific time. And two, I think basically just a lot of people remember Zeonic Front very fondly for the PS2. So between those two things, this is our champion. Number two is Blue Destiny Unit 1 from Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story The Blue Destiny. It's pretty good. It is a raid type. It has fairly, standard raid capabilities that expand greatly in exam mode. It gets forced injectors and dodge roll in exam mode, for example, both of which very useful. Actually, it has the forced injectors without exam, but you will overheat the second you try to use them. Also, this is the 100mm machine gun modified, or machine gun Kai if you prefer. Don't use it. Don't ever use it. Beam rifle is a much better choice. Unless they've buffed the heck out of this thing since the last time I tried it, it is really just not worth the effort. But the Blue Destiny 2 is worth the effort, and it is a pretty good machine. Next up, the Gundam Pixie from Cross Dimension 0079. It is one of a handful of stealth mobile suits currently in the game. It does tremendous damage with those beam daggers, and can also get a hold of a pair of not beam machine guns, just double machine guns that empty their clips practically immediately, but can do pretty solid damage if you can get focused on somebody. But it's a good machine, and it should be fun to use. Number four is the gun cannon mass production type. This is another excellent thing to have. It is, it's pretty straightforward. It's a long-range cannon support type mobile suit, and it too can get a pair of double machine guns. Those don't fire quite as quickly as the Pixies, but they do insanely good damage. So, yeah, this is definitely a good support mobile suit. It should be good to use. At rank 5, the Gundam, which it's shown with the hammer. That will probably be a separate drop unless they change things. But yeah, the Gundam is part of the package, as well it should be. And yeah, it's a good all-around machine with a lot of weapons options. It can use a beam rifle, it can use a hyper bazooka, it can use a beam rifle with a super napalm launcher, which is kind of hybrid because you can, use ranged beam rifle play or switch to the super napalm and use it like a bazooka stun main for a little while. So it's still excellent and worth having, and that hammer is very difficult to use, so you may just want to do the beam sabers. At number 6, the Gundam ground type. Very solid machine starting at the 300 point range. It has a pretty good beam rifle, a chest Vulcan, a flash grenade that it can launch from the chest, and a beam saber. Fairly straightforward. It does a lot of the same things the Gundam can do, except at lower costs, plus the flash bomb. So it's not bad to have, definitely. At number 7, the Full Armor Gundam, and that is an excellent thing to have because it has a cannon, it has missiles, and it has the double beam rifle, and you can do a lot of damage to general types very quickly. So yeah, it's a good choice. Rank 8, the Dwudge, which that's an odd one. Maelstrom pointed something out here, which is that it seemed like they were trying to get one mobile suit from each series more or less into the final tally. Because, yeah, it's the only thing here that is technically from Gundam Double Zeta. Even though it showed up in Double Zeta, I believe it's supposed to be a 1 Year War era Dom variant. So, whatever time Battle Operation 2 is supposed to be set in, this still works for it. But it's a raid type Dom. It does not have any kind of evasion, but it does have a heat saber and a tremendous heat axe, which I believe it. Yeah, pretty sure it has both, and it can do a 3-hit combo with the heat saber or use the heat axe, which does a lot of damage, especially on its downswing. If you can catch them with a normal swing with that, it will cause heavy stagger. And then, yeah, when they're on the ground, the downswing just is huge, but hard to land. At rank 9 from 8th MS, also from 8th MS team, we've got Goof Custom, which it's pretty solid. It's a raid. It has 3 melee swings up close. It also has a Gatling shield with a lot of rounds of ammo and a good range, so you can play it from long range if you want to. It's a pretty solid all-rounder as raid types go, and yeah, it's worth having. And lastly, the Zamel from Gundam 0083. So that is a heavy-duty, super long-range support mobile suit. It's I think it's the only thing in the game at present which is immune to stun. It can only be knocked down. Toppled is the official term I believe they use for it, but only downswings and other such things will affect it. Heavy stagger might, I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, it is difficult to stop, so, until the raids get up on it and tear it apart, but that's just, how things happen. But yeah, we still do not have a specific release date for this, tragically. It still says coming 2019. That is a shame. I would like to have an actual date, but I'm starting to think this may be later than we thought, because if it was supposed to come out like in a week, I think they'd probably say that coming next week, or some such. But yeah, that's pretty much our lineup. As you'll notice, the only thing that got double representation is the 8th MS team, which makes sense because that was one of the most popular UC series back when Cartoon Network was airing all these things. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me. The Garrett Schmitzer Zaku being in the lead does surprise me a little bit, but it's not a terrible choice. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing to have. None of this is going to be bad to have, and basically everyone starting out with a Gundam is actually really good. But also just the nice thing about this is that we have pretty much a decent set of generals, raids, and supports at a bunch of different costs. Zaku 1 Garrett Schmitzer at level 1, I believe, is 300 cost, so is the Uncannon MPT. There is not a 300-point raid here, unfortunately. The Dwudge comes in at 400, the Goof Custom comes in at 350. Pixie, I think, comes in at 350 or 400. I think it's 400. Blue Destiny 1 is also a 350. So, yeah, but we do get, a couple different levels of supports. The Gun Cannon MPT will be good for 300 rooms, full armor for 450 rooms, Zamel for 500. In terms of generals, there's only a couple on the list, but again, a good range. 2 300-pointers and 1 400-pointer. It's not going to be a complete set of, good starter mobile suits, but it's going to be a solid opening set to have when you start this game, I think. It's a good list. It's maybe not my ideal list. I am disturbed by the lack of Gelgoog, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. And anyway, that is going to do it for this little extra, and when we know an actual release date for Gundam Battle Operation 2, you will know it. And so yeah, that is going to do it for now, and until next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later!